chat. Let's watch some interviews. The interviews were so bad. What do you mean? I know they're short, but you got Coach Pop and you got Jeremy Sochan, baby. Sochan did his thing. Anybody that says let me say this really quick. There's quite a few people that say that you praise Sochan way too much, Clan. I don't get it. I don't understand. Why do you like him so much? I've always said everyone has a bias, okay? If someone says they don't have a bias, do not trust them, okay? They are lying to you. Everyone has a bias when it comes to their favorite players, their favorite teams, just their views about the world. Everybody has a bias. I have a bias towards players that are high basketball IQ, good defenders. Those are the guys that I gravitate towards. Those are the guys that I always like to see on our team. I grew up a Manu Ginobili fan. Manu Ginobili played tough defense. He wasn't the best defender in the world, but very high IQ player. My favorite player of all time. I was a big fan of Derek White, as you guys know. I've always talked about Derek White. I've always tell people like my friends or whatnot, this would never happen. But I said, if I grew up a baller and I wanted to model my game off of a player, I would model it off of Kyle Anderson because he plays good defense, high basketball IQ player. So I gravitate towards those type of guys. So Jeremy Sochan, before the Spurs even drafted him, I wanted him on the team. You remember when we did the top 5 players that we wanted, he was my number 1. And that was a big reason because he was high IQ, good defender. I always will lean towards those type of players. But with that being said, also, I don't necessarily think just because you have a bias that it's not valid. And I don't think just because you have a bias in something that it's not truthful. Jeremy Sochan is very young, and Jeremy Sochan is very important. I think that he is not just a piece to this team to win a championship. I think he's one of the pieces to win a championship. You need a guy like this. You need players like this, right? So overall, every game that I've seen, because I've seen just about here, I might have missed a couple Sochan games, a few. Maybe I was like driving or something. But every game that I've seen of Sochan, consistent good defense, regardless of what's going on as far as shooting wise, passing wise or whatnot, dribbling wise that he struggled with, especially his first year in the league. Every single time I saw consistent effort, consistent good defense, even when players, go off, because you can't lock down, superstars or whatnot, every night. But even with that, he did a good job. He did a fine job. And advanced analytics is on my side on that. And, people that are outside of our circle also agrees for the most part that Sochan is pretty doggone good. All right, so let's go ahead and dive into Sochan, and then we'll dive into what Pop has to say.
What did you see on Victor's lob to you?
Right off the bat, what did you see with Victor's lob to you? Is this because they're in Miami? I don't understand. Huh. Every vet has called Sochan that guy. Mando said, I only heard Pat Bev. Yeah, it was mainly Pat Bev. No, someone else said it too. When players talk about him, they get kind of irritated, which is a good sign, I think. Steven Adams did. CP3 and Harrison Barnes. Oh, yeah. Obviously. People on his team have praised him. Wemby has praised him. I guess he was just talking about people outside of the Spurs. Yeah, we've had Pat Bev. I think Draymond. People just don't think about Sochan like that. It's not until the Spurs start winning that he's like on national television all the time, and people will start, putting him on notice. Anyways, this question is starting off weird. I don't know. Let's listen. Oh, and Austin Rivers just today. Okay, I need to watch that.
Just as point guard steals, bringing the ball up the court, stopping there at the top of the key,
Yeah, just he knows the game. He's natural to it, and yeah, it was a good pass.
You guys have a pretty good 2-game going, chemistry building with you guys.
Yeah. I think it's just natural. We don't really think about it. We don't, of course we talk here and there, but it's just natural. I think we know, where we are, and we just play off each other, 1-2s, everything.
Jeremy, is it good?
Okay, I like this attitude. Okay, he's not being rude to anybody, but you can tell he's pretty upset about the loss. I like that. Don't carry it over, but I like it.
That as the preseason goes along, obviously nobody wants to get hurt or anything like that, but is it good that
A lot of NBA fans dislike Sochan because he criticized LeBron. Well, a lot of NBA fans are dumb. No, but honestly, I've seen many posts also talking about like the top defenders in the league and top forwards in the league as far as defense, and I've seen plenty of fans actually praise Sochan for that as well. But yeah, they're going to hate him. They're going to hate him. He's very hateable, right? He's very hateable if he's not on your team.
the physicality ramps up a little bit?
Yeah, 100%. I think you can realize with a experienced team like Miami, how physical they are. We had way too many turnovers today. So it's just learning from a team like that who's experienced and being through battles. So yeah.
What do you like about that starting five?
We could have won at the end.
It's like Pop said, it's not set in stone, but
Mm-hmm.
it seems like that might be.
Wemby and Sochan had a pretty good two-man game, same as Wemby and Castle. I didn't really see much of a two-man game between Wemby and Castle, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. I know Castle gave Wemby 1 assist. I don't know. I've seen more Castle and Mamu having a good 1-2 punch rather than Wemby and Castle. But Sochan and Wemby do play well together.
Yeah, I think we have length. Vic at the top. I think it's a good defensive unit, and I think everyone knows how to play. Extra passes, just knows the team ball. So I think that's important at the end of the day.
Good to see Charles back out there after what he went.
Yeah, very, very good. That's my boy, so I'm happy that he's back. Easy.
Cool. Didn't have too many questions there. Maybe it wasn't a lot of people that traveled. What's the point? What's the point of even uploading that? All right, Popovich.
Good game, like we got more physical as the game along. Miami's a great physicality team to get after you. And
we were right there the whole time. I wonder if Pop is going to have the same perspective I had, that it actually shows a lot of tenacity on our part to have 20-something turnovers and lose by 3. I'm sorry. I think that it's good to have games where you play poorly and you finish as strong as we did. I think that those games are important because we're not going to be perfect. The 2014 Spurs weren't perfect, right? We had games where we struggled, right? And we still, finished strong.
After you. And we let that get to us. 15 turnovers in the first half, 6 in the second half. Did a much better job of moving the basketball, being in flow, and not holding the ball or being held up by their defense and their physicality. So that was good. We had a couple people that played well. A lot of people got minutes. We didn't play the G League guys, but our guys that are playing are almost as young as the G League guys, so they need the time too. How do you plan to use Victor in Houston? Probably about the same, maybe a few more minutes. Just coming out of that busy summer, just it's a little, a couple of
Heat
bumps
and Magic are physical teams. And now that you mention that, I said against the Magic that those are the type of teams that Wemby would struggle against, and maybe it's the Heat too. He struggled against those type of teams.
Precaution. Long season. How did Charles look? He did well. He was agile, and he bounced around, had a little energy. I thought he did a good job. That rotation pretty much set. What do you like about the starting unit? About who? The starting unit. What do you like about that?
Oh, yeah, that's a good question. What do you like about the starting unit? Because everyone knows, Pop, that's the starting lineup you're going with. He's going to go with Chris Paul, Julian Champagnie, Harrison Barnes, Sochan, and Wemby. There's no way he doesn't do that. The only other option I think is throwing in Castle in the starting lineup. I personally want that, but we don't always get what we want.
I mean, it's so early. We got all kinds of things to work on. I don't necessarily have a starting lineup that's in stone yet.
I don't believe him. Okay, I believe him. I believe him to an extent. I believe him to the extent of the shooting guard isn't for sure right now. Maybe. I have a hard time. Sochan is going to start. Wemby is going to start. There's no way you don't start those two. That would be foolish. Chris Paul is going to start. I mean, that's one of his main reasons for coming to San Antonio. Harrison Barnes is the one player that I don't know. The more these preseason games go, the least confident I am. Because and it has nothing to do with him playing poorly. It's just that you can kind of plug him into so many different places. But if I had to put money on it, I'm going with Harrison Barnes starts, and then at shooting guard you start with Steph Castle. It would be cool though if you put Julian Champagnie. It would be cool though if you put Steph Castle at the 3, because he can play 1 through 3 basically. You know, that's the type of player he is. And then you also start Julian, and now you have 2 playmakers on the court at a time, right? Him and Chris Paul. The ball is going to move pretty nicely. But I mean, we had Wemby bringing the ball down the court and doing a lot of stuff too. So we just gotta wait and see. I think it's all going to come together though, and I also think it's going to come together before the season starts. So we have, I think, one more game, right? And I'm hoping everyone plays. Let's see, is it on Thursday? It's on Thursday. So we got our last preseason game this upcoming Thursday against the Houston Rockets. And I think that we're all going to be out there, right? Getting ready. I think you got to go full force. Go with the lineups that you think that you might want to run starting off against Mavericks. And I think Spurs going to be ready. I'll tell you, man, these last few games, I've been highly impressed. They've done a good job. They've been, most importantly, with all of these, they've been finishing strong. That's all you guys for. Finish strong. Yeah, I don't want to lose to the Rockets. It's preseason, but no, I think we go full force. And don't worry about it too much, because we play them like literally right after the next one. My girlfriend's not gonna be happy. She's not gonna be happy. She's cool. She's really chill. She's dope. I have a dope girlfriend. She won't care. I was gonna say, because I'm going live. I'm definitely going live with you guys right after this. I'm gonna try my best to. Some people said like, "Hey, we want to see her." I'll try. She's shy. She's not gonna want to do it. I'll try to bring her in. I'll try to be like, "Hey, say hey." She'll probably not. She's probably not gonna do it. Oh man. Ooh. Gonna be nice, man. Oh, of course. Yeah, I'd rather lose in preseason than the regular season, too. Yeah. That's a cool GF. She's dope, man. Speaking of girlfriend, she bought me Sparking Zero, and I want to get off of here so I can play it before I go to sleep. So, yeah. So, guys, I appreciate all the love. And you know what? I'll be real with you. I'm actually really excited for this season. I feel like Popovich is locked in. I feel like our boy Jeremy Sochan has been locked in. I mean, now that he's back in his natural position, we're starting to see the best of Sochan form, right? He's going into his, well, he's not into his final form, but he's going into his second form, and he's doing a good job. The Spurs as a whole are doing a good job. And I expect a lot of double-doubles, by the way. A lot of double-doubles. Go get out of here, King. All right. Good stuff. Good segment.